A monumental discovery has shaken the world of historical mysteries. The fabled Oak Island treasure, long a subject of speculation, legend, and fascination, has finally been unearthed. For over 2 centuries, the small enigmatic island off the coast of Nova Scotia in Mahone Bay has lured explorers and adventurers with whispers of buried riches and hidden relics. And now, after countless efforts and dashed hopes, that treasure has been found. Oak Island, a modest 57-hectare patch of land rising just 36 feet above sea level and surrounded by 360 smaller islets, is connected to the mainland via a 660-ton causeway that makes it accessible, yet still remote enough to keep secrets buried for centuries. Though only a short distance from the picturesque village of Chester, the island has remained cloaked in mystery since the late 1700s when land plots were first parceled out, each lot holding the potential to harbor incredible secrets. Among the modern-day seekers drawn to this mystery were Rick and Marty Laginina, 2 brothers whose childhood dreams turned into a lifelong pursuit. Rick, enchanted at the age of 10 by a Reader's Digest article about the Money Pit, a shaft supposedly booby-trapped and filled with treasure, was inspired to investigate. As adults, Rick and Marty joined forces and purchased a controlling interest in Oak Island, combining cutting-edge technology, historical research, and sheer resolve to unearth the truth. Their journey, documented on the hit series The Curse of Oak Island, brought the world along for every discovery, setback, and revelation. Over time, they uncovered a range of intriguing artifacts, pottery shards, ancient coins, coded documents, and pieces of wood that hinted at early human activity. One of the most stunning finds was a Roman sword discovered during their 3rd season, suggesting that visitors from faraway lands may have reached Oak Island long before European colonists. Another compelling clue came in the form of a coin bearing a symbol tied to the Knights Templar, the secretive medieval order rumored to have hidden immense treasures and esoteric knowledge. The breakthrough came not in a thunderous moment of glory but through a series of quiet yet momentous finds that, when pieced together, formed an undeniable tapestry of truth. After decades of speculation and frustration, the final discovery emerged from a painstaking excavation at a newly identified chamber beneath Lot 8, not far from where previous clues had suggested something monumental lay buried. It was a subterranean vault, hidden beneath layers of limestone, compacted clay, and trap-laden shafts, each more devious than the last. As Rick and Marty Laginina, alongside their team of experts, drilled through the final obstruction, their equipment hit a metallic object, solid and echoing, distinctly different from the surrounding rock. With the help of ground-penetrating radar and micro-drone cameras, they confirmed what they had long hoped for, a vast sealed chamber, untouched for centuries and glinting with unmistakable signs of treasure. What lay within defied even their wildest expectations. Inside the chamber, they discovered chests stacked neatly, carved with strange symbols consistent with both Templar iconography and Masonic patterns. Some were sealed with wax, others bound with iron bands, now rusted by time and seawater. When the first chest was opened under tight security and extreme care, it revealed hundreds of gold coins, many of Spanish and Byzantine origin, along with emerald-encrusted jewelry, scrolls wrapped in decaying leather, and intricately forged ceremonial items. It wasn't just gold or gems that astounded the team, it was the presence of documents written in Latin, Greek, and ciphered French, some bearing what appeared to be ecclesiastical seals. These weren't just the possessions of pirates or traders. They seemed to be the relics of a displaced order, a sacred cache intended to remain hidden until humanity was ready to rediscover it. News of the discovery broke through the usual noise of the modern world like a bolt from the past. Media outlets across the globe erupted with the headlines "Oak Island treasure finally found in Templar vault unearthed in Canada." Viewers who had followed the Curse of Oak Island since its premiere watched in awe as footage showed the chests being carefully lifted from their resting place, flanked by historians, security personnel, and forensic preservation experts. The academic community was immediately set ablaze with debate and excitement. Were these artifacts truly from the time of the Knights Templar? Did the documents link to previously unknown branches of the Freemasons? What was the origin of the strange metallic cube found among the relics? covered in a star-shaped emblem and inscriptions no linguist could yet decode. Museums and universities began bidding for rights to study the finds, while governments, including those of France, Portugal, and the Vatican, reportedly reached out to inquire about possible connections to their own historical archives. For the Lagianina brothers, the moment was emotional and overwhelming. In interviews, Rick described feeling as though a weight had been lifted, not just the pressure of the search but the burden of expectation that had followed them for years. Marty, ever the pragmatist, spoke of validation and gratitude for their team, noting that their success was built not just on modern machinery but on old-fashioned perseverance, and a willingness to follow even the faintest clues. Both brothers acknowledged the spiritual and symbolic nature of their discovery, recognizing that what they had found was not merely treasure in the material sense, but a key to understanding centuries of hidden history. The island itself seemed to breathe with new life. Visitors arrived in droves, hoping to glimpse the site or walk along the paths where the team had toiled. Oak Island became a pilgrimage site of sorts, not only for treasure hunters but for historians, archaeologists, and ordinary people drawn by the allure of mystery made real. New exhibits were planned for the Oak Island Interpretive Center, including replicas of the chests and digital renderings of the chamber where they were found. Meanwhile, security around the site was tightened, and access to the most sensitive areas became restricted under provincial oversight. Despite the monumental discovery, questions continued to swirl. Why was the treasure buried so deep and protected with such elaborate traps? Who designed the money pit, a feat of engineering that baffled even modern geologists and mining experts? And perhaps most haunting of all, what was the treasure for? The presence of religious documents and ceremonial objects hinted at a purpose beyond mere hoarding. Some theorists believe the cache might have been part of a larger network of hidden Templar relics, perhaps encoded with esoteric knowledge or messages meant for future generations. Others speculated that the scrolls, if translated, could contain secrets that challenged established historical narratives. Was Oak Island merely one chapter in a global saga of concealment and preservation? As the investigation turned from excavation to analysis, the Lagianina brothers began working closely with scholars from around the world. Cryptographers, theologians, and historians pored over the scrolls, cross-referencing them with known Templar and Freemason archives. A particularly provocative find included a map of the New World marked with symbols predating the age of Columbus, suggesting that explorers had reached North America far earlier than conventionally accepted. Further excavation near Smithy Cove yielded an intricate stone tunnel system that seemed to connect multiple parts of the island underground, confirming long-held suspicions of a vast network of hidden passageways. Within one of these tunnels, the team found carvings of a cross pate, the same cross used by the Templars, alongside depictions of stars and astrological signs. Whether these were navigational symbols or religious codes remained unclear, but the implications were staggering. It suggested not only deliberate planning but a profound knowledge of astronomy and geometry, raising yet another question. Were the Templars guided by ancient knowledge perhaps acquired from even older civilizations? Theories abounded. Some suggested links to Egyptian mysteries, others to ancient Phoenician traders or the lost knowledge of Atlantis. But amid the theories and revelations, one truth remained central: the Oak Island treasure was real, and its implications reached far beyond gold or glory. These discoveries stoked theories that the Templars might have crossed the Atlantic and concealed their riches beneath the island's surface. As the Lagianas dug deeper, literally and figuratively, they uncovered a 1647 French map featuring unusual symbols that bore striking resemblance to Masonic iconography. With help from historian Zena Halpern, the brothers began to suspect that the Freemasons, perhaps in concert with the Templars, had stashed away treasures on the island, guided by ancient codes and maritime secrets. As their search expanded offshore, underwater expeditions led by diver Tony Sampson and archaeologist Dr. Lee Spence uncovered what appeared to be parts of a buried shipwreck, metal anomalies, timbers, and submerged relics, suggesting that whatever treasure had been brought to the island may have arrived by sea. Yet the search was not without complications, as further underwater excavation required government approval. On land, the brothers concentrated their efforts on Lot 8, where advanced metal detection revealed a buried red gemstone and a massive metal object, perhaps connected to the Knights Templar or even the Ark of the Covenant. An old piece of parchment also led to the discovery of a replica 16th century cannon, the kind used by European naval forces to protect valuable cargo, deepening the theory that something of immense worth had once been shielded on Oak Island. One of their most revealing journeys took them to Portugal, where in the ancient palace of Quinta de Regalera, long associated with the Knights Templar, they discovered a 9-level spiral well that closely mirrored the architecture of the Money Pit. Nearby, within a historic church used by the Templars, they found carvings and symbols that matched those uncovered on Oak Island, strengthening the case that the island's mysterious structures might have been Templar-inspired, designed to hide sacred relics or treasures in a distant land. Over the years, their dedication paid off with yet more finds. Among them, a small lead cross discovered near Smith's Cove etched with markings associated with the Templars, perhaps the most tangible evidence yet of the Order's presence. Alongside it, ancient coins bearing strange, unfamiliar symbols hinted at the island having hosted individuals from various regions or cultures, each leaving behind traces of their journeys. Yet through it all, the shadow of the so-called curse of Oak Island loomed large. Legend holds that 7 people must die before the treasure can be found, and to date, 6 have already lost their lives in pursuit of the island's secrets. This chilling lore added a layer of risk and superstition to an already dangerous endeavor, as the Leginas faced cave-ins, floods, equipment malfunctions, and the inherent instability of digging through centuries of shifting earth and collapsed tunnels. Still, Rick and Marty remained undeterred, driven not by the lure of wealth but by the mystery itself, a desire to uncover history's lost chapters and fulfill a promise sparked in childhood. Their quest has reignited global interest in Oak Island, captivating millions, energizing historians and treasure hunters, and inviting speculation from scholars across disciplines. Whether the treasure ultimately takes the form of gold, relics, or knowledge, the Lagianina brothers' tireless exploration has already enriched our understanding of the past and breathed new life into one of the world's most enduring legends. As more artifacts are unearthed and new theories arise, Oak Island transforms from a simple legend into a living mystery, one that bridges the ancient past with the relentless curiosity of the present. The evidence continues to mount, not only pointing toward possible caches of wealth but also hinting at a complex narrative of human movement, hidden knowledge, and sacred purpose. From coded documents written in indecipherable languages to red gemstones and ancient cross-shaped pendants, every piece adds to a puzzle that spans oceans and centuries. The story of Oak Island is no longer just about gold and jewels buried beneath the earth. It is about the intertwining of cultures, the passage of secrets, and the architecture of mystery itself. Some speculate that the treasure may not even be material wealth but rather ancient manuscripts or sacred relics, artifacts that could reshape our understanding of world history, religion, or even science. The parallels between Oak Island's underground tunnels and structures found in Europe, the Middle East, and North Africa suggest that whoever created these designs had extensive knowledge of engineering and perhaps even a spiritual mission. More recent discoveries, including fragments of chain mail armor, a supposed Templar ceremonial chalice, and lead pieces traced via isotopic analysis back to mines used by the Templars, have added fuel to the fire. The evidence leans toward the involvement of not only European secret orders like the Templars and Freemasons, but also potentially Phoenician sailors, Viking explorers, and even ancient mariners from the Mediterranean who may have visited these shores long before Columbus. Each new find makes it harder to dismiss the Oak Island legend as mere folklore. The island's famous 90-foot stone, once dismissed as a hoax, is now seen by some researchers as a real artifact inscribed with a cipher warning of traps below. And while the original stone has been lost to history, several credible facsimiles have surfaced aligning